Hi, I'm Lily Mazurek. I'm an 18 and a half plus year breast cancer survivor, and I have some information and experiences I'd like to share with you, especially about some aspects that apparently a lot of people don't know about, or it's just not talked about. And I hope they'll be helpful hints for you, particularly if you are a current breast cancer patient. I've divided it up into 6 different areas. So here we go. First of all, if you're going for radiation therapy, you may experience some depression. I know I certainly did. But when you realize that it's restricted in time, we don't always think rationally when we're going through such traumatic times. And I didn't really fully conceive of the fact that this was a temporary procedure I was going through. It took 6 weeks of radiation. And when that finally kicks in and you realize this is temporary, you're going to start to feel better. At least that's what happened for me. Once I realized that the radiation was temporary, I kind of breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed. And I think we can think of a lot of the procedures we go through in life, particularly medical ones, as temporary measures to help us. So try and think of it that way. And um, that realization will certainly help you and hopefully lift any depression that might be related to what you're going through. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that the technicians who do the radiation therapy are very meticulous. They have to be. They have to take calculations to make sure the machine is lined up properly for your body. And at some point, not right away, they may suggest to you tattoos. These are 4 little dots that they would place at the 4 corners around your breast. Now it's optional, and I did know about this ahead of time, and I had decided not to do it. I didn't want any permanent markings on my body. However, the technician I had was very persuasive. He talked about the accuracy, how it would be better for me in the long run, and it would take less time because it is very time consuming as you sit there waiting for everything to be set up each and every time you go during that 6 weeks, several times a week. So I allowed myself to be talked into it. But looking back on this time, I feel that on the part of the technician, there was some laziness. He didn't want to go through this every single day, every single week with every single patient. And I understand that. But what happens is, I was left with 4 little green dots on my body as permanent reminders of what I went through, which for some people may not be a big deal. And you may say, well, it's my badge of honor, my badge of courage, and it shows what I went through. I didn't want to do it. I did do it anyway, and I kind of wish I hadn't. So I'm just giving you a heads up that this might be something you want to think about and maybe talk to the technician and decide whether you want to do this or not. Another thing I want to discuss regarding radiation therapy, all these themes I'm talking about today relate to radiation therapy. When you are undergoing it or you're about to undergo it, you may feel some fear and apprehension about what it is that you're going to experience. You don't know if it's going to hurt. You may have heard that there's blistering or burning. Any number of stories may have reached your ears and you're not really sure what to expect. What I would like to address is your feeling in going into the procedure. What I did for myself is I allowed myself to lie there with this huge machine, and I thought of it as beaming positive energy and healing to me, which may sound a little funny, but it helped me, and it helped me feel better about what I was going through. So think of it in terms of something that's healing or helping you, like medication, and that the machine is actually beaming you something positive. And when you make that shift, you will feel better and your body will respond in a positive way as well. So it's important. It's that mind-body connection that we need to reinforce and think of it as beams of love and healing. I would also suggest when you're with the technician to ask for protective guards for the rest of your body that is not being radiated. They're available in every single radiation lab. You just need to ask for them. Some people protect their thyroid area or, the other breast if only one breast is being radiated, your abdominal area. There's all kinds of guards and shields that most labs have, and all you need to do is ask for them. Another issue I want to talk about is something that I had not read about, not heard about, simply experienced. And even when I spoke to my oncologist about it, she really didn't know what to think and didn't know how to address it, which I find strange because I'm sure I'm not the only patient in her practice who experienced this. Now, if you've had a mastectomy or any major surgery, this probably would not apply to you. But if you had a lumpectomy with radiation like I did, this is what happened. 15 years later, after the procedures, one of my breasts shrank a little. And I remember noticing it one day and like, wait a minute, what happened here? And obviously the radiation, which is meant to shrink and kill cancer cells and the tumor, is also radiating and shrinking good breast tissue in the surrounding area. It's difficult to avoid that. Now, with some women, the shrinkage may happen more quickly. In my case, it took 15 years. And there's about an inch difference all the way around. So, yes, it's visible to me. Some people don't notice it. And you can make alterations in your bra to compensate if you want. I haven't as yet. I just leave things natural. But it is something to be aware of because even my own oncologist didn't know that this can happen, which is very odd. Another thing I want to bring up is hair. No, you do not lose your hair with radiation. That happens with chemo. But radiation affects your DNA, and so it will affect your hair, some more than others. In my case, it made my hair wavy when I had point blank straight hair. In the case of a friend of mine, it made her hair very, very curly. So it may not be a bad side effect, but it's something you need to be aware of. Uh, you don't want to be totally surprised, as I was. Um, but yeah, it'll change your DNA and it'll curl your hair. The last item I want to talk about regarding radiation has to do with recovery and healing and protection for the future. Back in 1996, when I was recovering from my surgery and procedures, I was doing a lot of research. I was getting second opinions, research on the internet. You know, I wanted to find out not just about the breast cancer and how to deal with it, but also how to protect myself for the future. And I stumbled across a very interesting piece of information, which is that in 1986, after the Chernobyl nuclear accident, the US government sent a substance to the victims to help them recover and to protect them. And this happened in the Ukraine under the Soviet Union, Chernobyl. And the fact that the US government knew of this substance, knew of its healing properties, I found very curious, particularly since, once again, nobody talked about it. It was never in the news. You can look it up now, it's certainly on there. The substance is spirulina, Spirulina. It is a blue-green algae, and it has supposedly cancer preventing and protecting properties and helps you heal from uh, radiation as well. The radiation part is what the US government was concerned with and is why they sent it to Chernobyl. So I took it at the time. It's available in capsule form or powder, which can be mixed with beverages or food. And I still take it as needed if I need dental x-rays or if I feel I've been exposed to radiation in some way. I do take it even now. And I do believe it's helped me, and I always recommend it to anyone that is undergoing any kind of chemo or radiation. I do believe it has protective qualities. So I'd like to thank you for watching. This is Lily Mazurek signing off today, and if you have any questions, I would love to see your questions or comments. Today's segment was all about radiation therapy, and I will have some other informational videos in the near future. I hope this has been informative with you, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye for now.